Cirque du Soleil founder Guy Laliberte may be the only professional fire eater to successfully build a billion-dollar entertainment empire. The Canadian billionaire has rebuffed offers from Disney and others who want to buy the elaborate circus. Instead, Laliberte is focused on opening his newest show, Zarkana, at Radio City Music Hall. Now, this is the first time that Cirque will have a regular presence in New York, all part of what Laliberte says is his plan to eventually conquer this entertainment capital.
It's very good, actually. You know, this is, I think we're up to 100-something thousand pre-sale, which is good. This is basically what we were targeting. Now the question is, does the word by mouth will go? Does the people will like it? I think for the Cirque fan, base fan, this is really what they were asking for, and I think this is what we're giving them. We're in Broadway, so we'll see the reaction of the Broadway environment. I think this is one of the biggest production ever brought to Broadway, actually.
I was reading between $40 and $50 million to stage this, is that right?
There was about $50 million invest in this show.
So you're pleased with the ticket sales because you think you're going to be able to cover that?
Yeah. Well, actually, this is a long shot. We're here hopefully 6 months a year for the next 5 years. This show's going after that. We'll live about 2 cities by year. After New York, we're going to Madrid, and then we're playing at the Kremlin Theater in Moscow, which is another amazing institution. So, and hopefully success will come, and we'll carry on and running the show for many, many years.
And you were a street performer. You started this with $1 million grant from the Canadian government.
Actually, I want to make sure of one thing. It was not a grant. It was a contract. It
was a contract?
Yeah. We got grant after the second year, but the first year was a business deal. It's important for me that people understand that, because it was a tough one. We were a bunch of kids coming out of the street, long hair down the butts, and trying to sell the first circus, Canadian circus, to take place. So we had to fight all the cultural and entertainment institution of Quebec back then, who was asking for the same money for their own project. You
were just 24 with that first business contract, as you said.
23.
23?
Yeah. 23, yeah.
Wow. And you built an empire out of that. I mean, you're reaching, what, $1 billion in revenue this year?
I think this year we'll reach $1 billion, yeah.
It was around the time of the crisis you sold, what, 20% of Cirque to two Dubai firms?
Just before, a couple of weeks before. So we basically had the last check from Dubai.
Well, do they still own 20%?
I'm still 80% owner of this company.
You own that 80%?
Correct.
And when you say you own it, you mean you
own it.
Own it creatively, strategically.
Exactly. Business decision.
And all the business decisions. Let me ask you about your newest venture, because you just now became an author. You have a book out. You went to space.
Yep.
You paid $35 million.
Yep.
To go to the International Space Station.
What an amazing opportunity.
Why did you do that?
Well, for many reasons. You know, that was during the celebration years of the 25th anniversary of Cirque du Soleil.
So you celebrated by going to space?
Well, many things. This was a reality. I was to be 50 years old. I need, after 25 years, a personal challenge, and this came as an opportunity to do something for myself. You know, for one time, taking time to sit down, listen to people, being told what to do instead of telling what to do.
Because you had to go through the training program.
All of it.
It was 6 months?
For 6 months in Russia, living in my 2.5 apartment, you know, a 500 square foot apartment, not even 5, I think it was 400 square foot, having to cook myself every morning, pedaling on my little bicycle to go to school.
Yeah, you're a billionaire at this point. You don't have to live like that.
I need that. I need that. I think this is, I always had said, you know, if ever I lose everything, I still could go on with my little accordion and go on the road. But sometimes you need to prove that for yourself, that you could live a simple life and give yourself a challenge.
And while you were in space, looking back at Earth, you were thinking about this.
Yeah,
and
well,
you were taking photos.
Yeah, I took about 10,000 pictures, going through 16 sunrise, sunset every day. I was kind of living in life in a very speedy way. When
you came back to Earth, you decided to put all of these together in a book called Gaia.
Correct.
And it's coming out in July.
It's coming out, well, actually it's already accessible by ordering on internet. Some boutique and bookstores have it. We're just like finalizing all the amount of book going all in those stores, but it's being launched at the end of last month, and I'm in a touring session of promoting the book. And there's some text that I integrate from people, great writer, great poet, that talk about the beautiful aspect of Earth. And at the end, also another tools to raise money for One Drop.
What is One Drop? Explain the purpose.
Well, One Drop is a foundation I put in place in 2007, which I pledged $100 million in this foundation as a startup money. And this addressed the poverty, the situation of water in the world. You know, there's one person every 20 seconds is dying of not having access to clean water. That profoundly touched me.
Assouline Publishing is selling those books, which retail for $7,000 each for the artist version, $65 for the standard one.